Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Slay the Spire reviews series. Today we are going to be talking about the Philosopher's Stone. It is a boss relic, and you gain energy at the start of your turn. All enemies start combat with 1 strength. The common theme with boss relics that give energy is that they help decks that have very expensive cards or cards that draw other cards perform better. So this is very useful in fights that don't attack for multiple times or very rarely attack for multiple times. And the main thing that's scary with Philosopher's Stone is enemies that attack for multiple times. Mostly the Book of Stabbing and the Corrupt Heart. It performs very well in Act 1 as a whole, almost as a whole actually, because Hexaghost and Guardian attack for multiple times. The rest of the enemies in Act 1 don't attack for multiple times. Anything close to that is just groups that all have 1 strength and they're all attacking in 1 turn. One thing I need to mention is that this relic really does well in decks that are block heavy. So like Defect with Frost Orbs, Watcher with like Mental Fortress, probably, and then like with Like Water. Silent like block spam decks with Footwork. And then Ironclad's like Barricade and Trench strategy. It also performs well with Ironclad Brimstone decks, where they don't really care if the strength was gained this combat, because Brimstone gives strength every enemy turn, and including your turn. So, the relic synergies I can think of are with Brimstone and with Calipers. The reason why I say Calipers is that, sure, with the extra energy, Calipers is worse, because you're going to have to be blocking more damage. Sure, but the thing is, you can use the 4th energy to block more than you would with 3 energy. If anything, it makes Calipers better. The cards that this pairs well with are any sort of like strength reduction, such as from Malaise, Disarm, Piercing Wail, Dark Shackles. Whether or not it's like temporary or permanent, they still do well. Because each turn is valuable, your deck wants to lean into the direction of making sure the fights against enemies end in a few turns. Overall, I don't really see this relic often, which is why there isn't much I can go off of. There wasn't really much synergy as I can really think of with Philosopher's Stone, or any use, or any good, or any just like great use cases. And I feel like this boss relic that gives energy, the out of all of the energy relics, this one has one of the more manageable downsides. 1 strength isn't all that much with single hits compared to like multi-hits. And even then, there are ways to deal with multi-hits, such as with strength reduction, as I said before. So it's like one of the best energy relics that I could ever pick up in a run. It's a pretty manageable downside overall. It's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, that's the end of this review. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you in the 4th review.